What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. Now, I did not expect to be making another FPL video this early into the World Cup. At the time of recording, we're just about to finish the second round of group games, but we have had a bit of an FPL announcement today. There are some double game weeks which have been confirmed for game weeks 19, 20 and 23. So in this video, I'm going to run through what that announcement is and some just initial kind of first thoughts as well. Nothing too in-depth. We need to wait until the World Cup is finished. Once England have won it, then we can decide on what our teams are going to be for game week 17. This is just a quick reaction and announcement video. So if you enjoy it, give it a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. So the first two teams that have a double game week are in game weeks 19. It's not every single team, but there's a couple of teams in each one. So for game week 19, it's Fulham and Chelsea. Fulham will play Leicester away and Chelsea at home. Chelsea have got Man City at home and Fulham away. Now, in terms of captaincy, you know me if you've watched my videos for a while. I do like to captain a player that has a double game week. So if I'm going to go through with that for game week 19, it's going to be from one of these two teams. Initial reaction is it would probably be Mitrovic, right? If he's had plenty of rest once Serbia get knocked out of the World Cup, then Leicester away and Chelsea at home looks pretty good. Like, if we're thinking about Chelsea options, you know, most of us haven't had many Chelsea attackers in our teams for this season, and then you're looking at the likes of Chilwell or Reece James for defensive returns and attacking returns, but will they be fit by double game week 19? We just don't know. So initial reaction is that our captain for game week 19, if we don't want to go for Haaland, could just be Mitrovic. Let's see what happens, but that's my initial reaction. In game week 20, Man City will have Man United away and Spurs at home, and Spurs would have Arsenal at home and Man City away. Now, there is an asterisk there. This is what I got off Ben Crellin's Twitter account. They are subject to neither side being involved in an FA Cup third round replay. If they are involved in that, then that double game week won't happen. But as long as they both get through first time of asking, then that double game week will happen. It's not necessarily great on paper, like Man City playing Man United away and Spurs at home. But if we remember what Man City did to Man United in the first game they played this season, it might not be such a bad thing. Most of us are going to own Haaland anyway. It's just about whether or not to have any more Man City players, and I'll take a look at their fixture run in just a minute, because on my first draft video I did for game week 17, I think I only had Haaland, no other Man City players at all. That might change now off the back of this announcement. Spurs have got Arsenal at home, Man City away again. In that first draft, I didn't have any Spurs players, so that might change now. We'll obviously have to kind of wait and see. And then lastly, in double game week 23, Man City again with the double game week. So they got two in the space of, 4 game weeks? So 20, 21, 22 and 23. Man City have got a double game week twice. This one's a little bit better, I would say. Villa at home and Arsenal away. I mean, Arsenal has not been an easy fixture for most of this season so far. But obviously, Man City, great team, and they get to play Villa at home as well. And then Arsenal will have Brentford at home and Man City at home. So they are the 6 rearranged fixtures that are creating 6 double game weeks for us. It's not huge. We're still waiting for those massive double game weeks where, you know, maybe 10 to 16 teams will all have a double game week in the same week, but it's still something to start thinking about when you're planning your game week 17 sides. Then I got one more screen. So this is the 5 teams that have been announced as having double game weeks in those weeks I've spoken about, and what their fixture run looks like kind of just before and all the way up until game week 23, where some teams have a double. Now, obviously, it couldn't fit on screen, but there is another game week to think about, which is game week 17. That's the week we're going back into after Christmas. But just to fit it on the graphic, I went from 18 to 23, because again, game weeks 19, 20 and 23 are the ones where there's possible, or where there are kind of double game weeks confirmed. So for Fulham, I don't think I was necessarily looking at Mitrovic, because Newcastle away, Spurs at home, Chelsea away, not necessarily great. But coming straight back into it, Southampton at home in game week 18. If we just go on to here, which hopefully is the FPL screen, we can have a look at what their game week 17 fixture is Palace away. So we're now looking at Palace away, Southampton at home, and then they go straight into a double game week of Leicester away, Chelsea at home. That's probably good enough for Mitrovic for me. Probably not going to need any more Fulham players than that. Chelsea have got Forest away in game week 18, then followed by the double game week, as well as Palace at home and Fulham at home in 20 and 22. The hardest fixture there is obviously Liverpool away in game week 21. If Reece James is fit, then he's someone I will look at. But I think, without going into too much detail, once we get back after Christmas in game week 17, that's on the 26th of December. Game week 18 is, I think the deadline's the 30th of December. Then the next deadline's the 2nd of January. So there's 3 game weeks in quick succession. And if the likes of Chilwell and James are back, are they going to be able to play all 3 of those games? And then obviously then we get into the run-up for when the double game weeks are going to happen. So we'll have to wait and see. It might be that we go for a centre-back or the goalkeeper instead, maybe Mason Mount. Let's wait and see. But it's all going to depend on which personnel are available. With Man City, I do think things have changed a little bit. If I just bring up the FPL page again, so their game in Game Week 17 is Leeds away, which does look pretty good. I had kind of not opted, because we don't have to lock anything in yet, but to possibly go without Cancelo, because in 19, 20 and 22 they played Chelsea away, Man United away and Spurs away. But now when you look at the run in total, in Game Week 17 they got Leeds away, then it's Everton at home, then it's Chelsea away, not necessarily ideal, but the 2 fixtures before that are pretty good. Then it's a double game week. Yes, it's a tough one, but Man City playing twice is always something that we want to kind of get on board with. Wolves at home is pretty good. Spurs away, not that great, but then you're straight back into another double game week. So I've gone from, okay, I'll definitely have Haaland, maybe no one else, to, okay, maybe I have Haaland and I'll probably have Cancelo, and maybe I should consider a midfielder as well. So I don't know if this has changed things massively, but it is obviously something we need to start thinking about. Spurs, Villa at home, Palace away, then the double game week, then Fulham away. So maybe worth looking at. I know, again, going back to that first draft, I think I had Haaland and Salah as my 2 premiums. Maybe that will change from Haaland and Salah to Haaland and Kane. We'll have to wait and see. But it's not a bad fixture. And I'll just check their Game Week 17 fixture as well. It'll probably be a bad one now. I've not double checked before I started recording. Okay, Brentford away. It's not too bad, right? So Brentford away, Villa at home, Palace away, double game week. That could be doable, right? Son, Kane, maybe Kulusevski's if he's fit, possibly a defender as well. And then Arsenal are obviously a team that have done really well so far this season. They've also got lots of really good value players like Martinelli, who's probably not going to get too many minutes at the World Cup. Same with Jesus as well. Saka's an option too. Their fixtures on paper don't look that great. But I think when you're looking at those 2 games in 19 and 21, which are home games to Newcastle and Man United, given how well Arsenal have played, if they can carry that on after Christmas, they'll do fine in those fixtures, right? Brighton away, Spurs away. It's not, on paper, it's not necessarily ideal, but I think just because of the value they provide and how good they've been, we're still going to be looking at their players, and then we'll probably want 1 or 2 for Brentford at home and Man City at home. So we'll have to have a think about that. I still think Marseille probably looks good. Saka's probably good value too. It's just whether or not we go for a defender. But the likes of Gabriel and Ben White, if they're still options to us when we build those Game Week 17 teams, they're not so expensive you can't bench them, right? If you need to bench them in any of those tougher fixtures, you can. So they're definitely going to be worth looking at. So it's nothing to worry about right now, okay? You can still go and get the World Cup finished before you have to start thinking about FPL or anything like that. But I just thought I'd do a little bit of an announcement video. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Give it a like if you did. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Obviously, there will still be a bit of World Cup content to come for the rest of the World Cup. So if you're playing that, hopefully you're looking forward to that. There'll only be a few videos each match day, but I will start ramping up the FPL content as we get closer to the World Cup ending, and obviously basically just gathering more information. Like, it's too difficult right now after 2 group games to know, exactly who's going to get through, how far they're going to get, are they going to be available for Game Week 17. We'll have a better idea as we go, over the next few weeks. So content will ramp up. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Give it a like, hit subscribe. I'll catch you again soon.